I want to complain about something really quick because I had a rough day. As those of you know, I've already talked about this a little bit before, but I need to fully vent because I am very irritated right now. Okay. And you guys know that has everything to do with my Kia Soul, baby. Okay. You guys know that. I bought a Kia Soul 5 years ago, 2017 Kia Soul. Pretty decent, reliable car, but frankly, I don't know if I'd ever buy a Kia again after the abysmal experience that I had with a particular Kia dealership. Okay. It was horrible. All right. The service department was terrible. The customer care is horrible, bro. It's miserable. Okay. I'm not going to say which one, but I'm going to complain about it. Okay. Kia Soul. Let me explain something to you. Okay. So never really had problems with this car, but a little while ago, I had an engine, an oil consumption problem. Oil was getting a little bit low. So I brought it into the shop. And they said, like, oh, we're going to do an oil consumption test, right? Come back at 1,000 miles. Now, at first, I didn't come back at 1,000 miles. I was like, eh. But then once it started to get a little low again, I brought it back. So instead of them engaging with step number 2, which is to do a vehicle cleaning out, the girl just did an oil change without even asking me, charged me for it, and said, come back at 1,000 miles again. And I'm like, why? So that was frustrating, but I took it on the chin. Bring it back in 1,000 miles. This is on Monday. I bring it in. She's like, yeah. You have an oil consumption problem, it seems like. We're going to do like a vehicle flush. It's all covered under warranty. So I was like, all good. Whatever. That's fine. Okay. So now Tuesday rolls around. This week, Tuesday. I drop my car off. Tuesday rolls around. They did it. I picked it up at night after I got off of work, which is just doing this. But I had my mother drop me off, you know. And I sign everything away. My mom leaves because, what are we expecting? Of course, it's going to work just fine. I get inside. I fill out the paperwork, get outside, turn my car on. Instantly feels like something's wrong. Now, I don't know for sure. I don't have a father, so I don't know anything about cars. But it felt off. But I was like, okay, because I could see like the RPM kind of like wiggling around like a little worm. But I was like, what do I know? Got in there, drove off. 30 seconds. Isn't even how long it took for my car to start doing this. It started jutting. I could feel it pumping back and forth, and my check engine light was flashing on and off. So I was frustrated. I turned around. I pulled it back into the thing to drop it off. I said, listen, my car's not fixed. It's in worse condition than when I brought it here. I don't know what's going on. And I was very respectful this entire time. I'm very calm, cool, and collected. So they come back out and they're like, oh, can you leave it for another night? And in my head, I'm like, what? I have to. I can't drive this home. What are you, insane? I was like, yeah, I can. So I had to get my wife can't pick me up after. So that was annoying, waiting outside in the cold. Irritated. Okay. Wednesday rolls around. Now, of course, guys, you're thinking, Papa Gut, if the mechanic fucked up your car, you're going to be number one priority the next day. Well, you be fucking dead or goddamn fucking wrong. Okay. 12 o'clock rolls around. I call them because I'm like, what's going on? Like, I feel like I haven't gotten an answer. I don't know why. I call them at 12 o'clock. Okay. These guys pick up. We haven't gotten to your car yet. Okay. I was like, all right. When can you get? Are you getting to it soon? He's like, oh, it's like the next one in the line. Okay. Hang up. 3 hours later, I call back because I'm a little frustrated because I feel like I should have been number one on the list. I call back 3 o'clock. Hey, is my car done yet? Like, what's going on with my car? Oh, well, we haven't even bring it to the shop yet. Your technician's busy with another car. I'm like, okay. And I said, listen, I'm very frustrated because I brought my car in for something else, and then you guys messed something up, and now it's still not done. And like, we're sorry, sir. We're going to get to it soon. Now, like 4 o'clock rolls around or something like that. It rolls around, okay? They called me, okay? And they say, oh, hey, sir, Mr. Gut. That's not what they call it, but you know what I mean. It turns out one of the I forgot what it's called. Oh man, spark plug. One of your spark plugs is blown. We recommend you do all 4 at once, which makes sense. It'll cost you $325. So I'm like, what are you talking about? You guys messed my car up. My spark plugs were fine when I got in. Why would I pay for anything? He's like, I don't know anything about that. I said, okay, can I talk to your service manager? And the guy's being a dickhead and he's rude. And maybe I am too at this point. I'm being assertive probably. But dude, I'm getting fucked. So he comes back like 2 minutes later. He's like, it communicated to me. It sounded like the guy didn't want to talk to me. Like, it felt personal. I'm like, what the fuck's happening? but we'll cover the one. I was like, okay. So the plan was just to get the one done. So like 10 minutes later, I looked into it a little bit. I'm like, okay, I think I should get all 4 done. You're usually supposed to get, they got 90 or 100,000 miles for the Kia Soul. So I call back. I'm like, listen, I think I might want to get all 4 done. Like, what do you think? Like, you're a mechanic. Can you recommend it to me? Like, well, we don't really know. Oh, no, sorry. No, listen, I call back and a different guy picks up. This is the fucking best part. A different guy picks up and he says, oh, sir, Mr. Gut. Mr. Gut. He says, don't worry. We identified the problem and we're going to replace the spark plug for you for out of like something like out of the kindness of our heart, something like that. It was like a word, like a phrase like that. And I was like, no, you're not. I said, I had a call and complain just now. Don't tell me this because it's very clearly untrue. Like, I don't appreciate that. Like, you're saying this to me. I said it very respectfully and very assertively, right? And then I said, listen, but I'm hearing you should change them all at once. And I'm a guy that, like, my ego's frustrated, obviously, but I call back because my thing is I want my car to last for a long time. So I'm like, okay, I might want to just do all 4. What do you think? And he's like, oh, maybe it's up to you, blah, blah, blah. You're not giving me an answer. Like, holy fuck. But then at one point he's like, yeah, but you never know. A week could go by and then your another spark plug could blow. And I'm like, it sounds almost coercive. I don't know if that's the right word, but it sounded a little weird when he said that. Like, just do them all. Okay. So the next day rolls around. It is now Thursday. And I called 4 times the day before for those reasons I told you. So I'm not trying to be a nuisance. I figure they'll just call me. I figure they'll call me when the car's ready that I've had there since Monday. It's Thursday. My vehicle that I bought from there and bought the service contract. And every time they ask me to get something done, I say, okay, because I'm a fucking idiot. So 1:20 in the afternoon rolls around. This place opens at like 9 or 10. I call them. I'm like, bro, where's my car? Like, I called them. I said, hey, like, this is Mr. So-and-so. Like, can you, like, what's going on with my car? And they're like, oh, the person assigned to your vehicle, like the rep, not the mechanic. They're busy right now. So I'm flabbergasted. I'm like, who fucking cares? Like, what? I didn't say this, but I'm like, I'm confused. Audibly, I'm like, okay. And they're like, they'll call you back. I was like, okay, sure. I'm confused. Why can't you just help me? What complicated thing is happening? So I get called at 2:00 on the dot. Picks up the phone. I figure, like, hey, what's up? I was like, they're like, oh, it's blah 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 dealership. And she just pauses on the phone. She just sits there and waits for me to talk. Like, I assume you know why the fuck I'm calling, but she just sits there, waits, and I'm like, can I? This is such and such. Can you? What's going on with my car? Like, it's been done. It's done. It's done. The car was finished earlier that fucking day, and I never got a call. So I'm very irritated. And then what they say is it'll be $328. So I go, why would it be more? I got quoted at 4 fucking spark plugs for $325. Now I'm getting quoted $328 for 3. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever at all. Even with tax. What is it, $70 worth of tax? At this point, I'm really irritated. I say, when do you close? And I hang up. Like, she says, oh, we close it this time. Okay, I hang up. So I'm pissed right now. So next day, that's today, I go down there and I want to speak to the owner of the thing because they're all independently owned. And the person wasn't in, of course. So I talked to like a sales rep, leader, manager, whatever. I told them the whole story. And they this is the thing. I settled for too much. My wife even told me. They knocked it off so that I paid for 3 instead of 4. I should have fucking... because I'm a nice guy. Okay, I didn't say anything. I didn't yell or scream, but I shouldn't have had to pay any labor, to be honest with you, after all this bullshit. So this other girl comes out and she's like kind of dealing with me, and at the end she's walking me to my car and she's like, we're really sorry. And then you know what she says to me? She says, thank you so much for not screaming at us. That's what she said to me, because apparently what happened to me was screaming worthy. And I took it in stride. So I get home and I tell my wife, and my wife, I don't know. It's just frustrating. Terrible fucking service. And this isn't even the first time, bro. This is the last. I brought my car in for a nail in the tire a while ago, And I brought it in. I'm like, there's a nail in my tire. Like, okay, we'll fix it. Next day rolls around. They say it's done. I come to pick it up. The rim is on the fucking ground. They didn't touch the tire. It's fucked up still. Like, this is the second time this has happened at this goddamn dealership. And I want to just say what dealership it is, but like, I know that that's like a stupid idea to do. Like, I shouldn't be doing that. But I'm so fucking angry, bro. It makes me never want to buy a Kia again, dude. I got fucking railed. And this is the problem, is that like when I was growing up, I was a young guy with some anger problems. So have gone through therapy and whatnot, and I've gotten my shit together, and that's why like I have a pretty good control of my temper. Of course, sometimes I have my goblin mode moments on stream, but I'm fairly reserved. So like I don't have a scale of proportionality to my anger. So I'm either angry or not angry. So I can't get angry at people in public, which is why I didn't scream at them. So my wife's like, it's funny. She's like, next time I'm going to go. And she's just being silly. But my wife doesn't have these types of problems. So she could just give the proportionate amount of attitude. But at this point, I'm just pissed. I never want to go back there. And I don't think I'll ever want to buy a Kia again. And like, just on the sake of it, I might just buy another car and never deal with this ever again. And I don't feel like my frustrations or issues were heard there. I think that they played damage control, and they, instead of offering me, what they should have said is like, we're going to knock the price down like 50% or something. They gave me the minimum that they could get away with, so that they didn't have to give a fuck, so that they could just get like as much money as possible. But for me, I am 32 years old. I bought that car when I was 27 years old. At that time, I was making a fraction of what I'm making now. Let me just say it like that. Okay, I'm doing a lot better now. And I've been going there for 5 years, and I've always been respectful. And frankly, I think they were jerking me around my tire the whole time, because my same tire always had a nail in it, they would say. But I feel like they put a patch on it, and the patch was just garbage, and it would just constantly unpatch. So I'd have to constantly bring it in like every 6 months, but whatever. But like, I bought my car from there, from an independent dealership. And I just know, and like, it's like, we're gonna have kids soon, and we're gonna buy a fucking like some kind of a SUV or minivan. And my wife likes Kia. And so I don't think I'm going to buy a Kia again. I'll buy something else. And even if I do, it's not going to be at that fucking shithole. But I don't know. I'm very soured to this experience. And it's frustrating because I called the Kia actual customer service line. They said we can write up a report, but we can't do anything about it. We can just send it to the dealership because they're independently owned. And I'm like, what? That's fucking nuts. So next time, I'm just going to send my wife in, because my wife is an animal. She'll scream at them in the right way, and then we'll all be happy. Because this is the order it goes. It's like, I'm the nicest one of the two of us. Then my wife, she's the second nicest, and then I'm the third nicest, right? So what happens is I'm very nice, but then I hit a point and I explode. My wife has a solid, consistent angle, and then I'll just fucking yell. Especially if you fuck with my wife. Like, you could treat me like shit, but if somebody fucks with my wife, I'll start screaming at them. So that's where we're at. You guys could recommend whatever you want to recommend. Maybe I'll buy one of those cars. Okay? I don't give a fuck. So I just wanted to complain about that, bro. I wanted to complain about it.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.